Good evening, and we'll be back from the convention we had last week. I'm Kale Ivan, broadcasting news live at Joy Media House in Zambia. The 2025 Uganda Police report shows that road traffic deaths increased to 5,383, averaging to 15 beds per day. Most crashes happening during the day. Fatalities were highest between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. with 3,484 beds recorded. December had the highest number of crashes at 2,443, while June recorded the lowest at 1,978. Pedestrians made up a large share of fatalities with 43% killed, while crossing roads 32%, while walking along roads and 9%, while standing by the roadside. Our reporter is giving us more on that.
The 2025 Uganda Police report shows that road traffic deaths increased to 5,383, averaging 15 deaths per day. Most crashes happened during that day. Fatalities were highest between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., with 3,484 deaths recorded. December had the highest number of crashes at 2,443, while June recorded the lowest at 1,978. Pedestrians made up a large share of fatalities, with 43% killed while crossing roads, 32% while walking along roads, and 9% while standing by the roadside.
It is to make sure that they make proper use of the roads. They should use the walkways which are being put in place, and to make sure that if they are on the road, they should be conscious of what they are doing or what they are seeing at the front.
Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak will engage border riders and other road users in public awareness campaign to reduce road accidents.
The government is trying to make sure that all road users are very mindful of how they are driving on the roads. They've put zebra crossings. My urge to the government is to still continue creating awareness, educate the public, the border guys, the school children, to make sure that they make proper use of the roads.
During the 1 year of Nyakato Yedida as the president of Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak, the club has made success in health sector and education sector.
As Daybreak, we've managed to speak to the youth, talking to them about the abuse of drugs, alcohol, and other substances. We've also had to bless the elderly as we celebrated the International Day for the Elders. We gave out food items, wheelchairs, walking sticks.
At the handover ceremony of Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak in Kampala, the club was held for changing lives in communities where the new leadership will start.
This club will continue to remain firm and strong and stand on the impact that your strong leadership has brought to it. It is not the president to set the pace. Once the president has set the agenda, tell the president, we have adopted the agenda and we are going to move forward with it. We are going to take it ahead.
Thank you so much. The European Union Ambassador to Uganda, John Shadak, says the funding will meet to get the spread of Ebola and strengthen the country's response merchandise. He reveals that there will be an additional support to Uganda Red Cross to coordinate the activities in combating the outbreak of Ebola virus. He was on a working visit in Bunyoro sub-region. Our reporter is giving us that.
The European Union Ambassador to Uganda, Jean Sadek, says the funding will mitigate the spread of Ebola and strengthen the country's response mechanisms. He revealed that there will be an additional support to Uganda Red Cross to coordinate their activities in combating the outbreak of the Ebola virus. He was on a working visit in Bunyoro sub-region.
The Ugandan response. We have just decided about an €8 million support through the International Red Cross to help on health aspects, surveillance, border crossings and so on, and also a flexible mechanism of €1 million that can be used by the Ugandan Red Cross as well. So we are already activating our resources, and hopefully we shall, together of course with the important Ugandan response, we're hopeful that the situation can come under control here in Uganda.
The European Union ambassadors led by SADC are in Bunyoro sub-region to understand the region, including its opportunities, challenges, culture, history and ongoing developments.
The French government started a feasibility study with National Water and Sewage Corporation to expand the water distribution network. And we, just a few weeks ago, we signed an agreement with Uganda Development Bank to support entrepreneurship for the youth and for agriculture activities.
Andrew Byakutaga, the Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom Prime Minister, says that the people of Bunyoro have been engaged in various activities, mostly agriculture, and urges the ambassadors to support the institution in this sector.
Your Excellencies, agriculture remains the backbone of our economy and the main source of livelihood for our people. Bunyoro is blessed with the fertile soils, favorable climate, water resources, and hard-working people. The Kingdom has continued to mobilize communities towards commercial agriculture, coffee growing, value addition, modern farming methods, climate-smart agriculture, and agribusiness development.
Edward Isingoma, the Hoima City Mayor, has highlighted some of the key areas that the EU can support.
Hoima City respectively proposes joint investment in health surveillance and biosecurity hub serving the Western Uganda DRC border corridor, meat and dairy inspection infrastructure ahead of AFCON 2027.
Uganda has registered 2 isolated imported Ebola cases involving Congolese nationals. The Director General Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Orol, says the public must stay alert. Let's hear this from our reporter.
Uganda has registered 2 isolated imported Ebola cases involving Congolese nationals. The Director General Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Olaro, says the public must stay alert.
Within the next 24 hours, we also were able to test and confirm the second case, who is currently admitted in Mulago isolation unit. So that already shows that its capacity, as the PS has indicated, that we have lab capacity. And also have capacity in terms of human resources to be able to manage this case. And I must say that actually the patient we have at the isolation is already on the path to what? To recovery. And we pray that she continues to recover.
The Ministry of Health has challenged the public to be on high alert and observe standard operating procedures, but also report any suspected cases.
We have also deployed the lab in Kasese, so we don't need to transport the supplies, the lab blood to Kampala. It can be tested. And tomorrow, our lab in Arua will be functional, will be working. So we will deploy the epidemiologists. We have activated the district task forces, which are chaired by the RDCs and the secretaries by the DHOs. And we are looking at that. The most important aspect is that we want to monitor all alerts.
According to the Ministry of Health, movement cannot be restricted, but screening, especially at border points, has been strengthened.
And so we need to work together. That's why we are very active and very concerned that we cannot do things the usual way, even here in the country. And that's why we have activated all our systems. That's why we have deployed people at the borders who are screening. and that is the reason we postponed a very important annual event that brings so many people, many nationals into the country.
Uganda has recorded 8 cases of Ebola between 2000 and 2026.
Once again, thank you so much. Consultations are still ongoing over the controversial requirements taxpayers to pay a 30% tax deposit before challenging assessments at the tax appliers tribunal. Our reporter is also giving this to us.
Consultations are still ongoing over the controversial requirement for taxpayers to pay a 30% tax deposit before challenging assessments at the Tax Appeals Tribunal.
And that issue is still on the table. We are still engaging. We are waiting for feedback from Parliament, from Minister of Finance to engage and see how best should the reform be made to address the challenges the business community is facing. Because what is clear is the reform is overdue.
The business communities are waiting further feedback from Parliament and the Minister of Finance on possible reforms.
So I'll start on the issue of employees. Their take-home is greatly affected by tax. And government has tried to do something which we are saying is too little. Of course, when government gives you something, you first say thank you, and you utilize that, okay? So to the employees, my advice is you need to work within what is available to start with, okay? Because government is caught between a rock and a hard place.
Concerns were also raised over employee taxation, with experts arguing that the recent adjustments to income tax thresholds remain too small compared to the rising cost of living and inflation.
So that means that government needs to look at other sources of revenue, other alternatives that can bridge that gap when they correct the anomaly on pay-as-you-earn. And one of them is through addressing the challenge of informality.
Experts warned that high taxes reduce workers' take-home pay and could affect Uganda's competitiveness.
Thank you so much for watching. I remain Kalde Ivan here at Joy Media House, Zambia. Have a blessed night.